beyond the northern edge of civilization, where the oceans freeze into endless fields of ice, humanity launches its greatest polar vessel ever created, the Arctic Titan, a colossal ice-breaking ship engineered to survive the harshest waters on Earth. Built by thousands of engineers across Europe, this floating fortress was designed for one mission: to explore the frozen unknown beyond the Arctic Circle. Powered by advanced hybrid engines and guided by artificial intelligence, the ship begins its historic journey through dangerous polar seas. As the massive steel hull cuts through the frozen ocean, helicopters scout dangerous ice passages from above, while scientists prepare underwater drones to search beneath the ice. Every movement must be calculated carefully. One wrong decision in these waters could trap the ship forever. But the Arctic holds secrets hidden beneath centuries of frozen silence. And tonight, as the first storm approaches across the horizon, the crew realizes this expedition may become far more dangerous than anyone expected. As the Arctic Titan pushes deeper into the frozen wilderness, the environment becomes increasingly hostile. Crew members step onto unstable ice fields surrounded by freezing winds and endless darkness. Beneath the ship, giant rotating propellers crush massive layers of sea ice, while powerful generators struggle to maintain full energy output. Above them, the northern lights dance silently across the polar sky. But beauty in the Arctic can quickly become deadly. A sudden glacier collapse sends enormous ice waves crashing beside the vessel. The captain orders emergency maneuvers as the ship narrowly escapes disaster. Meanwhile, a strange abandoned research station appears through the snowstorm. Buried beneath layers of ice and silence, the station seems untouched for decades. Inside, frozen corridors and flickering emergency lights reveal signs of a sudden evacuation. And hidden deep within the facility, the scientists discover mysterious magnetic readings unlike anything ever recorded before. The deeper the Arctic Titan travels, the more unpredictable the frozen ocean becomes. Violent storms surround the ship while massive icebergs drift silently through the darkness. Inside the command center, the crew monitors dangerous pressure forming beneath the ice fields ahead. Helicopters continue scouting safe routes, but visibility is rapidly disappearing. Far below the surface, underwater drones detect enormous frozen structures hidden beneath the Arctic seabed. No one knows what they are. As the ship reverses through ultra-thick ice using its rotating propulsion system, strange vibrations begin shaking the hull. The engineers fear the growing pressure may damage the engines. But stopping here is impossible. The nearest rescue team is thousands of miles away. For the crew aboard the Arctic Titan, survival now depends entirely on the strength of the ship and the decisions of its captain. The expedition enters one of the most dangerous zones ever recorded in the Arctic Ocean. Towering walls of ice surround the ship like a frozen maze with no escape. Inside ancient glacier caves, explorers uncover strange formations untouched by human eyes for thousands of years. But the Arctic refuses to stay calm. Storm systems intensify rapidly. Radar screens begin detecting massive moving ice ridges directly in the ship's path. Then disaster strikes. A violent emergency signal echoes through the engine room as overheating systems threaten total power failure. The captain must navigate through collapsing glaciers while engineers race against time below deck. Outside, giant waves crash against the reinforced hull as freezing winds cover the ship in thick layers of ice. And somewhere ahead in the storm, something enormous is moving beneath the frozen sea. Hidden beneath endless snow and darkness, the Arctic Titan discovers abandoned military ruins frozen deep within the polar wasteland. Old radar towers and buried aircraft suggest this region once held secrets never meant to be found. As night falls, the ship becomes trapped between shifting walls of moving ice. The pressure begins squeezing the steel hull from both sides. Emergency alarms echo throughout the vessel. Above the frozen deck, helicopters battle violent winds while crew members prepare rescue operations in near-zero visibility. Then suddenly, the captain spots a narrow opening through the ice. Using maximum engine power, the Arctic Titan pushes forward through crushing frozen barriers. Behind the ship, enormous glacier walls collapse into the ocean. But the danger is far from over, because the storm ahead is growing stronger with every passing hour. Far beneath the glacier mountains, the expedition enters a mysterious frozen tunnel glowing with blue reflections. No satellite has ever mapped this region before. Inside the ice caves, scientists discover ancient structures hidden beneath layers of frozen stone. Meanwhile, strange malfunctions begin spreading across the ship's AI navigation system. Warning alarms flash across the bridge as communication signals disappear completely. The Arctic Titan is now alone. Deep within the darkness, the crew uncovers a frozen submarine trapped inside an enormous wall of ice. No records exist of its disappearance. As tension rises, explorers attempt to cross dangerously thin ice, carrying critical equipment. Below them, deep cracks begin spreading across the frozen surface. One wrong step could send them into the freezing ocean below. Using advanced underwater drones, scientists scan deep beneath the Arctic floor and discover mysterious glowing formations hidden in the darkness. The findings shock the entire expedition team. At the same time, violent Antarctic-style storms begin forming around the ship. Towering waves crash against the hull, while icy winds reduce visibility to almost zero. Despite the danger, the Arctic Titan continues moving forward. Through narrow frozen canyons and collapsing glaciers, the vessel pushes deeper into the unknown. Suddenly, the crew detects signs of geothermal activity beneath the ice. Warm steam rises from hidden caves under the glacier surface. For the first time, the scientists realize the Arctic may still be changing beneath the frozen world above, and something powerful may still exist under the ice. The Arctic storm reaches full force. Lightning tears across the polar sky as the ship struggles to maintain its course. Communication towers collapse under powerful winds while emergency crews fight to repair damaged systems. Every second becomes critical. Then, a massive avalanche crashes down nearby glacier cliffs, sending giant waves racing toward the vessel. The captain orders immediate evasive maneuvers. Inside the control center, strange magnetic activity begins interfering with navigation systems once again. Meanwhile, explorers discover a frozen airfield buried beneath centuries of snow. Old aircraft wreckage lies scattered across the ice like ghosts from another era. As the Arctic Titan escapes another collapsing glacier arch, the crew realizes they are approaching the final stage of their mission. But the Arctic still has one final test waiting ahead. After weeks trapped within storms, darkness, and frozen oceans, the Arctic Titan finally restores its damaged navigation systems. The path to the North Pole is now clear, but danger still surrounds the ship. Massive underwater fractures spread beneath the ice while rescue teams race to save stranded researchers from collapsing platforms. Above the frozen horizon, the northern lights illuminate the Arctic sky one final time. Then, after surviving impossible conditions, the Arctic Titan reaches the geographic North Pole. For a brief moment, silence fills the frozen world. The crew gathers together on the icy deck, watching the sunrise reflect across endless Arctic ice. They came searching for answers hidden beneath the frozen ocean. Instead, they discovered how powerful and how fragile this world truly is. And as the ship disappears into the endless white horizon beneath the dancing aurora, the legend of the Arctic Titan begins. Massive, futuristic icebreaker ships sailing beyond the Arctic horizon beneath glowing northern lights. Final cinematic aerial drone shot. Endless frozen ocean stretching into darkness. Sunrise reflecting across shattered ice fields. Emotional ending atmosphere. Crew standing silently on frozen deck. Ultra-realistic Arctic environment.